What's up, agents? It's Angie Perez from Agent Know-How. I just wanted to do a follow-up video to the two videos that I did last week called Lead Capture Optimization. Basically, what that means is that you have blog posts that people are visiting and they're reading, but they're not necessarily leaving contact information. They're certainly not calling you directly to say, list my house, for example. So, I know that I have some work to do. I have a blog post that I worked on called Deed in Lieu of Foreclosure, and I was getting about 35 visitors to this blog post, which is not a lot of people, but then my Google Analytics hadn't been installed for a long time, so it was probably about 2 weeks worth of data, and 35 people is still, maybe one or two of those people I could have possibly converted on, so that I can get their contact information and possibly follow up. But right now, even from doing some of the simple strategies that I'm going to show you, I was able to get an increase in traffic. Right now, you notice that that number is going up just based on some of the simple strategies that I'm going to show you. Okay, so I don't have the before version of this blog post, but basically it was just it was a lot of paragraphs. It was text, and there was really no divisions. There was maybe some things that were highlighted, like some bold text, but nothing really popped out at you. But now this post, I think, pops out at people, and people can kind of skim it, and they can also see what links I have that are kind of related to the topic. So how did I add this larger text, and how did I add this image? I'm going to show you that now. So in my admin panel, this is my admin panel for WordPress. I have an HTML version of my blog post, and I have a visual version of my blog post. So right now I'm working within my HTML version, and I purposely wanted to make certain things appear larger. So I added what's called header tags, H1, H2, and H3. If you're unfamiliar with that, it looks like this. Basically, whatever information goes in between the cursor here is going to appear larger on the page. So in my HTML version of my blog post, that's where I insert my header tag. So right now, what is a deed in lieu of foreclosure is actually between the H2 header tag. If we look at the visual version of that, it appears larger on the page, and that is important for two reasons. One, what you make larger is kind of the emphasis of your blog post. Google sees that as your keyword. And two, it's just easier to skim the blog, knowing what sections are more important. So this is H1, this is H2, and this is H3, and then my theme is changing the color of these particular header tags. Alright, so most important keyword, second most important keyword, and then this is probably the third most important keyword. The other thing that I did is I added an image to my blog post. That's all of this here that you see here, right? So that's real easy. There's a button that says add image, and I picked an image from my gallery, and I actually had that image on a different blog post, but I just inserted it here, and now I have an image plus my H1, H2, and H3 tags, and then I also added some links to other relevant sections on my site. So automatically I'm getting some increase in views. What this post is missing, though, is that it's still missing a form for me to give out more free information, so that I have an opportunity to follow up with someone. And it's also missing, I think, a video to kind of crystallize, or to make it really clear as to what we're talking about on this blog post. Alright, so that's what I mean by lead capture optimization, is that if you're going to blog, you should have some type of call to action within your blog post so that people can either follow up with you, because they're not going to always call you, and they're not going to always email you, and they may not even visit the site again, but you at least want an opportunity to follow up with them if they want your free content. If you're offering something that they need, more than likely they'll share with you their contact information, and then you have an opportunity to follow up. Alright, so again, my name is Angie from Agent Know-How. If you have any questions, email me. It's aperez@agentknowhow.com.